What's up, everyone? This is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. This is a recap for Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 7. You guys, information dropped last night about a woman named Belinda Sanders, who Martell is alleged to be truly dating and not Sheree. And check out who Belinda is following, you guys. Martell, Destiny, let's see, Carlos King, Melody, and Sheree. And that's not it, you guys. Check out her picture in the top corner. Do you see the sign that she's holding there? This lady is good. I kid you not. But what else should we expect from Martell's women, okay? Now, we've talked about her before on my channel. I shared some details with y'all a couple of weeks ago, but y'all, she's definitely trying to keep people off her trail by following all those women. And y'all, Martell doesn't follow any of his women. That's how he keep people off his ass, okay? People keep saying he unfollowed Sheree or they unfollowed each other. They never followed each other. But y'all, hit your like and subscribe buttons right now, and let's get into this review. So the scene opens with Martell Holt. He goes and visits the event space where they're going to have the upscale cover/birthday party. He visits the space solo dolo, so there isn't a lot of conversation going on. Just him and the manager having the smallest of small talk. Then in confessional, Martell says that this is the first time he's had a major spotlight on him without Melody. And I was like, did he forget about his wine launch that he actually had twice, one in Atlanta, one in Huntsville? Both of them should have been pretty big deals. Not to mention, he already had a cover party for Upscale magazine. So this scene is full of bull. But he said he was inviting all of his family and friends, including his friend girl. Not girlfriend, friend girl. And Martell didn't even include the D on friend, okay? He said F-R-I-E-N, friend. Shout out to Ashley Silva from the DC franchise. She said if they don't put a D on friend, that means you're not getting any. And when I tell you, at the end of this episode, when Sheree and Martell are at this upscale party, Martell ignores the hell out of Sheree. And production caught every second of it. And you guys, these two didn't even spend the night together. They didn't even pretend to spend the night, okay? But we'll talk about it later in the review. In confessional, Martell acknowledges that there's a lot of people speaking on him and Sheree's relationship. And he's like, I wish they would stop. That's our business. They don't know what's going on. Then he calls Sheree and they talk to each other like they've never met before. Sheree says, I'm about to get on the road. Martell says, okay, drive careful. Sheree says, thank you. And Martell says, peace. So it's the day after the tea party, and Melody said that what she wanted to get accomplished with everybody learning to communicate better and respectfully disagree didn't happen. So she invited Nell Fletcher, Kiki, and Tiffany to her house for a casual lunch. Only Mel's dressed to the nines with a wig that's given inches and a 6-inch heel. And Nell didn't let it ride either. When she came in, she said, I get being extra because I like to be extra, but you are over the top. Kiki's a little late arriving to the dinner, but Mel forewarns Tiffany because these two aren't getting along at all. In confessional, she said, I have no idea what's going on between them, but it's always fireworks when these two get together. And if you guys got an opportunity to listen to the recap, Tiffany said that Kiki has been coming for her the entire season. And she threw major shade at Kiki. She doubled down in saying that she did not know her, and that even though Kiki's son was on her husband's team, that their engagement was really casual. She actually said the only memory she has of Kiki is her jumping the fence because she didn't want to pay the entry fee onto the field. She also said that Kiki was using her to be relevant. But back to the scene, Melody tries to mend fences between the two of them, and Kiki does end up apologizing. She said the comment she made, which was, and I do know my father, she said she realizes that it came across harsh. However, that's not who she is or how she intended it. Tiff accepts the apology, and she said she wishes that everyone could respect each other's boundaries and accept where people are, the way she accepts that Melody changes her number every week. Next up, it is Tisha, Kimmy, and Stormy. Tisha said that Melody had a tea party where people were supposed to learn to communicate better. However, she didn't think Stormy was following the rules of engagement when it came to Melody. According to Kimmy, she noticed that things had gotten so intense for Stormy that she ended up walking out the door talking about F this group, I'm not messing with them anymore. Then Stormy said, tea parties aren't my vibe, and I don't appreciate people telling me how to be a lady. Her exact quote was, I've been a lady, bitch, since I came out my mother's womb. And I said this in my actual review for the tea party, and I'm gonna say it again. Stormy's mother accused Melody of trying to diminish her business. And if Stormy's own mouth hasn't diminished her business, then no tweet ever will, okay? And I am saying that as a person who does not judge people for how they speak or curse. I could care less. I'm just saying that if you want to start something, make sure it's legitimate. Then Kimmy asked Stormy if she thought things were resolved between her and Melody, and she said yeah, because she never thought it was in arrears. Then Kimmy raises her eyebrows and said, oh, really? And you can tell she's saying, you are lying. But Stormy moves right on past it and said, did you like the party? Kimmy said, I loved it. I like anything that has to do with etiquette and learning communication. But she agreed that the group definitely did not achieve their goals. Then Tisha brings up that Tiffany is out here liking posts about Kiki coming for her next season. And Tisha found it odd because it was actually Tiffany who was coming over to the house and being her support when her and Kiki had fallen out. And then there's this awkward part in the scene where Stormy is trying to take over the conversation, only she doesn't know what she's talking about. Then Kimmy tries to get the conversation back on track, but Stormy is very much an alpha. She doesn't like to be corrected. So she tries to figure out a way to trump Kimmy. And she does it by becoming the bone carrier for a second time. She told Tisha that Tiffany came for her, saying that she wasn't a boss, that she's not able to control Marceau, and that there must be some truth about Marceau being for the streets. That's when Tisha threw her head back, gave a hearty laugh, and said she knows way too much about Tiffany. And Kimmy quickly piped in with, allegedly. Tisha said, okay, allegedly, but I know way too much for her to be coming for me like that, and we're going to address it. Next scene. So we're at the upscale party for Martell. The entire cast, except for Melody and her mother, are here. They are dressed to the nines. And when I tell you that this scene did not give what it was supposed to have gave, I mean it. The conversations were disjointed. It lacked authenticity. It felt forced and contrived. The most authentic and honest thing that happened at this party was Martell forgetting that he had brought a date. And I'm going to get to that in just a second, okay? First up, let's talk Kiki, Tiffany, and Stormy. And then Tisha gets in it too. But first, these three ladies talk about the post that Tiffany sent Kiki, basically congratulating her for what Kiki thought was dogging out her cousin. The post actually read, Carlos, keep Kiki with exclamation points. And then it said, Kiki is going to tell everything, with the assumption that Kiki had, knowledge about whatever's going on over there with the Scotts. Tiffany forwards that post to Kiki and said, kudos to you. And Tiff explained that she was simply congratulating Kiki on having a fan base, I guess. She meant no disrespect to Tisha. Now, to be honest, that really should have ended the conversation, because how much further can it go? But Stormy said, let me go get Tisha and make sure that she's in on it. And for what? But Tisha comes over and she addresses the things she talked to Kimmy and Stormy about. And y'all remember, it's about Tisha not being a boss and Marceau being for the streets. But when I tell you that Tisha could barely get a word in edgewise, the argument stayed between Tiffany and Kiki. And for some odd reason, Stormy tried to mediate. No one knew how to play their role for the camera. And at the end of it, Tisha was like, I'm cool. Like, she realized that this scene was garbage. So then you guys, Sheree and Martell finally get to the party, fashionably late, might I add, but they get to the party and people are genuinely excited to see them. But let me set the scene for you, okay? I don't know if you've ever watched Sex and the City, but the main character, Carrie, thinks she's in love with this Russian artist named Alexander Petrovsky. He's a rebound for Mr. Big. And he makes her think that he is her entire world and the love of her life. But this man is really a selfish, narcissistic bastard who tricks her entire mind, convinces her it's going to be the two of them, and she leaves everything she knows behind. The city she loves, her career, her friends, who are really her only family. and she follows him all the way to France. And when she gets there, this man leaves her completely alone to fend for herself. She doesn't speak the language, so she's not making friends easily. And when he does introduce her to his friends, it's like she's not even there. He talks to everybody else except her. And that was Martell and Sheree in this scene. And everyone in the party notices, okay? Even production. They were playing all kinds of shady sound effects. The cast could see it. And in confessional, Kimmy and Maurice called it out. They said that when Melody and Martell used to go to events, they were attached at the hip and that they worked the room together. But Sheree and Martell were working the room separately. And Kimmy point blank said that the whole situation looked like a business arrangement. And every time the camera panned Sheree, you could tell that she was having an internal struggle trying to present like she was fine with all of it. Then, y'all, Martell had to go up on the stage and give his speech. And he didn't even look in the crowd for Sheree. He didn't wave at her. He did nothing. It looked like production made Sheree take this lonely ass walk to the front of the stage. And once she's up there, Martell is joking, being real interactive with the crowd. He calls out Kimmy. He's thanking people, and he doesn't acknowledge Sheree not once. And I know she had something to do with him getting on that cover. But then, y'all, he walks off stage, and he comes over to Sheree. You think they're going to have a moment. She says, "Congratulations, baby." They hug. She tries to kiss him on the cheek, but I feel like she missed. And Martell has this weird smile on his face. This is a big moment for him, and he is not sharing it with her. Then, y'all, he sees a man with a beard. And he asks Sheree, "Do you mind if I excuse myself?" And she says, "No problem." And Martell beelines it for this man with the same excitement and enthusiasm as a child on Christmas Day. Now, I don't know who he needed to show himself loyal to on these cameras. Word on the street is that his relationship with Belinda, the one that's been on the show about 3 or 4 times, has been confirmed. But Sheree is way too old for this shit, even if it is pretend. Next up, we have Sheree and Tiffany. And this was supposed to be the powerhouse scene where Tiffany asked Sheree some hard questions like, what is it like dating a serial cheater? Now, if you guys know Sheree, you know when she's caught off guard or when she's ready to pounce, she starts talking really fast and stuttering. Then Tiffany says, "Well, you're strong." And it really did feel like a jab against her body type. Y'all know people like to call her she-man and stuff like that. And that's when Sheree put her drink down, and then she shifted a little bit, but she made sure she looked Tiffany right in the eyes. And she said, "Yeah, I am strong. Now, what's your question?" And that was a cute way to say, "Don't make me whoop your ass." But y'all know that Tiffany is oblivious to context clues, okay? So she asked her the question again. Sheree said, "I watched the show, so I know you're a cheater too." Then she gives her the answer that her and Martell rehearsed. "Oh, we enjoy each other." And that's when Tiffany gets completely brand new and asks Sheree, "Are you putting the P down like that?" Now that actually shocked Sheree, but she knows that they are trying to get a rise out of her. She looks up at the sky like, ooh, this girl has no idea, and she really doesn't. She's no match for Sheree, but looks like she doesn't give a damn this season. In confessional, Tiffany said Martell found a woman with a little more experience and closer to Miss Marlene's age, his mama, child. The way they teased this scene, I surely thought that Sheree let Tiffany have it. I don't know if they just cut it out last minute because Tiffany's pregnant or what, but this scene did not give what it was supposed to have gave, I promise. The last scene is Martell and Sheree. It's the morning after the Upscale magazine party, and Sheree visits Martell at his house. His friend girl drove 4 to 6 hours, whatever the drive time is, to get to Huntsville. And per social media, pictures and videos, she did the Upscale event, and then she went over to the cigar bar with the Scotts and partied it up over there. But instead of going over to Hotel Holt's house, because if I remember correctly, she told Andy Cohen that it was the best she ever had. She took her ass to the Marriott. Now checkout time is 11 a.m. She gets her bags packed, drive over to Martell's house, and when he opens the door, again, they're giving us vibes like they are meeting each other for the first time. They do this awkward hug. She calls him baby, but it's not natural. Then they give each other a kiss on the cheek, not the lips. Then he asks her what are you up to? Like there's no connection there. He doesn't say, did you have a good time last night or anything like that. In fact, she asked him. And when he said he had a good time, she reminds him that she's tired from partying with him. But Sheree says, do you want me to take my shoes off? And then she asks, where do you want me to sit? And I swear they started playing that crazy music to let you know there's something off here. What girlfriend would ask after dating each other for a year, where do I sit on this couch? Friend girl without the D for sure. Whoever came into my comments trying to convince me that you were Damian Hall's long-term girlfriend and you were right there when he was serenading all that stuff to Sheree, keep an eye on her, baby, because Sheree is dry as the Sahara, okay? And if your man is showing her that kind of attention, making her smile ear to ear like that, it is definitely going to cause some confusion, which is why you were showing out in my comments. Anyway, Martell claims that his mother came to pick up the kids, so I guess that was their she couldn't stay the night excuse. But Own does not have permission to show his youngest son, which is why he's blurred out. Anyways, Martell is pretending like he's studying, and Sheree tells him that she's happy because he needs to pass the test. She probably found that out watching the show like the rest of us. Y'all, I forgot to mention that they had like 1 or 2 scenes where they tried to make Melody a fan of Sheree because there's a picture out there of Sheree and Melody and Little Tank. But in real life, it's Sheree that's a fan. Then Sheree asked Martell how things were going between him and Melody and the divorce, not the custody case, but the divorce. Now, clearly that was a slip of the tongue, but Martell did not correct her. But she said, you and I have talked about marriage and blending families. How do you see that going? And Martell says that once everything gets settled, I'm assuming with the case, then he sees it as being smooth sailing. But in confessional, Martell is fidgeting. He's stumbling over his words, and he's saying things like, Sheree is she's a good woman. She knows how to take care of her man. And then he says that she's submissive and wife material. Then Martell asks her, how do you like Huntsville? Like he has plans to move her out of the chateau when she can't even spend the night at his house. But Sheree tells him, I like Huntsville. Then she proceeds to tell him everything that Tiffany said, starting with, do you still have feelings for Mel? Then Martell makes this ridiculous face like he cannot believe that she would ask him that question. And Sheree just kept going. She said, Tiffany told me you were following Melody around like a puppy. And that's when Martell shuts her down and she kind of smiles like she likes it. But he lowers his voice and he says, excuse me, I'm sorry. You know what kind of man I am. You know that I'm a gentleman at heart. Which, by the way, means that you're a total asshole and you're just hoping that if anyone experiences that side of you, that they know your heart. But this is where Martell takes the time to define himself as a man and as a protector and basically saying there's certain things that I am always going to do no matter what or who it's for. And again, Sheree is sitting there with a smile on her face, nodding like she is so proud. It was complete BS. And this is how you know you ain't living right, okay? Martell should be questioning everything because this scene just happened to air during the time that there is a whole scandal out here on your name of you and your baby mama intending to release a revenge porn tape against your ex-wife. And that's how it ends, you guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit your notification bell, share it, okay? And I will check you all on the next one.